open his mouth or whatever and just insulted the hell out of my life based on things that I told him.
But I don't think that women are emotionally intelligent. I don't feel like we know how to regulate certain things. Like,
listen, Kratz could have been a boss and just
A
ripped
boss.
himself out that cross and said, like, he could have ripped himself off the cross and said, I am the shiznit, okay? You are not gonna throw tomato. I made that tomato that you are throwing at me. Indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God. Nah, I'm a man. I need to like her and it.
Welcome guys to episode 6 of Sound Words. We're looking at why are you catching feelings? No, that's actually the name of it. Why are you catching feelings? We're looking at all different sorts of things with 3 amazing girls, looking at emotions and all sorts. It's going to be amazing. Guys, stay tuned.
Hi guys, welcome to the show, and today's topic is why are you catching feelings?
Guys, welcome back to Sound Words episode 6. We're looking at why are you catching feelings? And today I've got 3 amazing women with me. I've got Ebbs, Ada and Ruth. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, my name is Evan and I am a presenter.
Hi guys, my name is Ada. I'm in 2nd year of 6th form and I'm a YouTuber and a vlogger.
Hi guys, my name is Ruth. I am a beauty blogger and a YouTuber.
Oh, thank God. Amazing stuff. Why are you catching feelings? What does it mean, guys, to catch feelings? What does that actually mean?
I personally haven't never really associated catching feelings as anything else other
in a
than
relationship.
catching feelings in relationships.
Relationships, yeah.
As in having feelings for someone without realising it, or it just happens before your very eyes. Catching like how did I what? Like how is it that I
Is it always negative then?
Yeah, to be honest, it's got a negative connotation because it's like, oh, now you're in the deep end, like, what are you going to do now? Like, how are you going to get out of this? I think it can be positive if you catch feelings for someone who is going to add to your life and, you know, it's going to be...
it's reciprocated.
Yeah, if you've both got feelings, then it's like... Yeah, it's kind of fun, but still, most time when people catch feelings, they're in this sort of, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do now? Like, I like him. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, because now your feelings get toyed with, like, because you're so emotionally,
you're open to your feelings,
and because you're so vulnerable to the person now, because you like the person and you're emotionally involved. It's like whatever this person does may affect you now. So it's like, oh, what am I gonna do now? So yeah, it definitely seems negative. It can have a positive connotation.
I think it's negative when. It's not negative. I think it's a bit of both. So it's positive and negative when it brings up your insecurities. Your fear of rejection, or your fear of investment, or like, and that's when usually male and females. That's when we start playing games because we don't want to be rejected, or we don't want to. We're trying to protect ourselves.
But then it also can be kind of positive because say if you're a closed off person and you're not open to allowing people to see your vulnerability, catching feelings can almost put you in the deep end, like you said, and kind of force you to kind of open up and relax and be able to trust someone, because having the ability to trust someone, provided that person is a responsible person in terms of with your trust, it's a beautiful thing. You know.
But it should. I agree.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't always be unexpected. As in, like, you shouldn't always find yourself in situations where you're catching feelings from different people. Like,
like you're like one
catching. You shouldn't. And so in terms of catching feelings, I mean, there's issues of boundaries, and there's issues of you know, just kind of understanding what you're attracted to and knowing what you're attracted to. That's one thing. Like, I felt that one thing I've learned over the years actually is that if you're catching feelings for different people, it gets to an emotional place. You need to take a couple steps back and just retract. Okay, what's happening here? And for some people, it's just attraction. Like, if I meet a guy and I'm like, boy, hey, like, I can just know that I'm attracted to him, and it just can stop there.
Stop there.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly. But then when you start to create space and opportunity for investment, you know, as in, like, it's not that it's needed, but you just want to do it anyway because you feel like, let me invest, as in, like, he's there, he's present, I'm present, what's the harm? I'm gonna make myself known, and then rather than him collecting your number, I'm not saying that you can't, but you know, you're actively pursuing, do you know what I mean? You're actively seeking out a friendship, and then when the friendship happens and then you guys are having pillow talks and it's passing a certain time and then you guys are spending time together and it's like, wait, hold on, his arms are around your, like, are we friends?
When did we get here?
When and how? And you should never ever really be having those conversations then. Like, you need to be creating those boundaries.
And now, what do you guys think? Do you guys think men are more emotional than women and women are more emotional than men? Is there, or is it just general, it's just everybody, we're all human beings?
I think that we do, but emotions different.
I think the people who suppress it,
you look like you've got a lot of
you think men are like, I've got 3 brothers, right? And they're all pretty emotional. They try to hide it, but I see they're more emotional than me, to be honest with you. But it's like, guys are more emotional, mainly because they've been taught, or the society kind of makes them feel like they have to hold it in. So when you bottle things up and suppress it, it's worse than, you know, it keeps building up and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. But with girls, we've been taught, you can speak about it. You can be like this, you can be like that. So we can be emotional, but we get through it. We get past it, but they suppress it. Most of them, anyway. Well, my brothers kind of do. So
Well, I've got myself to a place where I believe that I'm allowed to be as emotional as possible. But I don't need to act on those emotions.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And that's like, something burning in our heart. What is it? Open up now. Come on.
Do you know what? It's that I feel like when it comes to the state of emotions, I think women are a lot more, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I think women are a lot more mature in the way they deal with their emotions, because something
let's hear that first.
To a certain extent, some women are a lot more mature in the way they deal with their emotions, but I think with men, I think they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Like and I think that's why when it comes to relationships, some guys find it a lot harder to get into a relationship where they could be talking to you for like donkeys and they actually have feelings for you, but because they're like, whoa, I'm a man, I need to like her and it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they need to like everything. They don't allow themselves to then do the correct thing and invest in a situation with you and then build a relationship with you.
Which is connected to
fear. It's connected to fear, but then that's connected, it's an emotion. Do you know what I mean? Fear is an emotion. But so it's almost like they're kind of immature in dealing with their emotions, and then because they're almost immature in dealing with their emotions, they allow it to justify unreasonable actions that then lead, that are kind of rooted from the fact that they're unable to deal with that emotion.
That's the thing I was saying. I think it's and this is not because this took me a long time. I can't even say I'm there, but what I've learned to at least understand is that have your emotion. You know, God said, the Bible said that he grieved him that he made man, but he didn't. Do you know what I mean? But his actions didn't always follow from his emotions.
It grieved him, but then he didn't. Which he had. God has all the power in the world. It grieved him, but then he didn't then turn around and go, do you know what, mankind, you're done.
He did that. Hold on. Which one are you talking about?
But there's an extent. I'm talking about, he didn't say mankind, I'm finished with you, in terms of
everyone
died and Earth is finished. The story of Earth is finished and closed. He done that, you could say, in the terms of with Noah. He done that, but there was still life. Like, he was cleansing. There was still life inside that. There was still life in Noah. There was still life in the animals, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't allow his
emotions. He didn't allow the fact that it grieved him to see what we as his children had become to then go, do you know what, guys, I'm finished with you.
Yeah.
Which I think
we do that sometimes, and they'll just say, forget it, it's over,
I'm
bring down the shutters, it's over now.
I'm done with this, and that's it.
I was going to say that I remember, and that's really interesting, like, just kind of the attitudes that come with it, like the outcomes of your emotions and your lack of emotional management, as in not knowing how to deal with it. And this is where I agree and kind of also disagree, as in like I agree that women are mature to a certain degree, but I don't think that women are emotionally intelligent. I don't feel like you know how to regulate certain things. Like you can be okay, so you could say a woman might be mature in that she might be able to say to a man, okay, this is how I feel. Like we are very good at articulating how we feel, but that doesn't stop us from being manipulative if we don't feel like things are going our way, or if we feel like we're not in control. Do you know what I mean? And that leads to that's also a behavioural outcome. That's you know, to manipulate is something else. That's acting out on it as well. And I remember when I was in my relationship, God, thank you. and that was years ago, and in that I remember if I broke up, like no, not if I broke up, but if things didn't go my way, like I'll just be like, okay, I'm done. Like, as in like always done in the relationship, like single, Facebook, I'm out, kind of, and like, yo, what's going on? Like what's actually going down? And that was my way. No, it wasn't my way of dealing with it, but I didn't know how to deal with that kind of emotion, as in like if I felt like I wasn't being regarded, or if I felt like things weren't going my way, I'd lock it off, or I'd run away kind of thing. I wouldn't want to address it, or I wouldn't know how to have the conversation. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of men and women don't know how to have that conversation. Do you know what I mean? And that's, I feel like the emotional maturity that we're talking about is false. I don't feel like a lot of women are really mature.
When I say emotional maturity, it's more like I can have feelings for example, when you're in a relationship, there are many times when you can feel let down in a relationship. But then there's God, there are so many times. Oh God. But you know, there's so many times that you can feel let down in a relationship, but then it depends on how you deal with it. So it's like, you know, if, you know, I'm with my dude and he's done something and he's let me down because I'm like, I didn't expect that from you. It can either be a situation where I turn around and say, do you know what, I'm done with you, I don't want to do this anymore, or I can turn around and be like, this is what you've done to me. If you do it again, then now I know that then you're then taking the mick, because you know what I don't like, and then if you do it again, then we've got a situation.
Where you're in control is you can choose how you deal with disappointment. So if he does it again, and how do you deal with that? Do you know what I mean? Do you now use that to decide on your relationship? Do you know what I mean? Like as in on the like, because a lot of guys say that women like we blow things out of proportion, like as in like she's being bare, like she's being so busy, like that's what guys say, like she's being busy, man, like why she doesn't have
genuinely believe that though. I genuinely believe that when we say these things, we're journalists, isn't it? So it's I genuinely believe that you guys just do times it by 59 million.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, what I wanted to say was that if you look at like
you know when it touched this,
if you look at like
times it by 59 million.
If you look at like media, all those like reality TV shows now, like especially like American ones and Love and Hip Hop, and then they find out that their boyfriend's cheating on them, they go haywire, they're destroying their car and stuff like that. And girls, like normal girls who like just live a normal life and it's not in the
they must live up to that.
They feel like they must do that. So then like if you see on Twitter, there's so many videos of girls who their boyfriend cheated on them once, they're like, what? No, because of what they see on TV, and they're like, okay, that girl's got respect because her boyfriend cheated on her and she went and messed up all his stuff because he can't treat her like that. He's like, what? They're like, what? Okay, cool, but he can't do that to me. So then they go and break their stuff, do all that sort of stuff.
Even if your guy cheated on you, I don't think the right answer is to now come and break his stuff. I think you get more respect from saying, do you know what?
Oh yeah, girl,
I'm good. Bye.
But when you're in that situation, girl,
you ain't thinking like that.
So based on that, are we saying that regardless if it's a man or if it's a woman, are we saying that we just don't have enough of relationship with the Lord, and knowing that He is who I fall back on if He cheats on me, or she's and God is who I fall back on if she does X, Y, and Z. Do you know what I mean? Is it that or?
Do you know what? It's so sad because I was listening to like a sermon the other day about having a void in your life, and I think sometimes when you're in a relationship, when you've caught feelings, when you know you're in a relationship and you think your woman is blowing stuff at 50 times out of proportion and all of that, I think it comes down to the fact that there is a void somewhere where you know,
on the girl,
if you do,
on the woman or the man?
Whoever's
both.
doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because you could do something and it could really affect me, but in your opinion, it's not that deep, it's not that serious. But
That's
the reason it's really affecting me is because there is a space there
something
that I
you
have
haven't
used
dealt with.
you to fill, and now you've let me down being a human being, because human beings, we let each other down all the time.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And because you've let me down, I'm now like, how dare you? Whereas that void was actually meant to be kept by God, who never lets us down.
So what you're basically saying that we've kind of built, we'll come back to, but we're building houses on foundations, we're insecure foundations, not on Christ, and when it falls down, it's that person that's the problem.
Yeah, but it's almost like, you know, when you do say, okay, we've blown something out of proportion, I think, and you know, don't crucify me, but I think women they do a little bit to an extent, but men also blow things out of proportion also. Like, you know, I could, you know, in my past relationships, I'm a perfectionist. So in my past relationship, it was almost like a situation where it was like, you know, if he'd done something wrong, even if he'd like sneezed wrong, I'd be like, really? I'd be like, really? Like, really? Like, that's what you're sneezing like that? Really? Do you know what I mean? But it's little things. But to him, it's like, it's not that deep. But to me, it's like, how dare you sneeze?
So don't you have the issue
Sneezed
there?
in your life. Someone sneezed in your life.
Someone sneezed in my life, and it
upset you.
And I've held on to that sneeze ever since.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But obviously that
Yeah,
in that situation, that falls back
to
on
that.
me because he's not perfect, and I shouldn't expect perfection from him. So that falls back on
And that's
me.
not only sneezing, that's deeper issues, bigger issues as
Do you know
well.
what I mean? Not obviously not only but then when it becomes, but then that's the thing with relationships. When it becomes like bigger issues, like, you know, say if I'm really insecure, and I've told you that I'm really insecure, but then you start doing things to feed that insecurity, and then I'm blowing things out of proportion, then you then have to look at yourself, because it's like, in a relationship, I've become vulnerable to you.
Yeah.
So I've told you what my insecurities are. So say if I don't trust men easily, and then you go out all night and you don't call me, you turn off your phone, you don't do this and you don't do that, you are feeding that insecurity when you know you could have just easily sent a simple little text.
Well, surely you've got to deal with that with the Lord.
That's me, but at the same time,
Yeah,
you know,
don't add to the fire.
we're in a union.
In First Peter,
you know?
in First, I don't know if it's First Peter 5:8 or 3:8, I'm not sure, but it's in First Peter, and it talks about the woman being the weaker vessel. And when I saw that yesterday, I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, how are we the weaker vessel? And he was talking about the husband regarding the wife and honouring the wife and being understanding of the wife. Do you know what I mean? And so I kind of was initially offended by the word weak. I was just like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? And I wonder if that reflects on how we
I think
actually
it does.
behave or how we are put together.
I think
Yeah,
it
so
does.
Edmund, that's a deep scripture you talk about there. You know, men, something along the lines of men love your wives according to knowledge. It's a deep scripture you talk about, and it's true. Like what you were saying, if he knows you have these insecurities, he is to love you in the knowledge of that, according to that.
Yeah.
And that, bearing in mind, that is in the context of marriage. But
Yeah, of course.
generally, men and women are definitely constructed differently. But it was something that I learned in my kind of encounter with guys was I had to ask myself this question: where do I put my pressure? And where do I put my pressure? That means when you want to push against something, as in, you know, when he's not doing the right thing, or you know when he's not texting you, or you know when he's not, you know, he's not acting right, or he's not asking you to come out, or he's not asking. Where do you push your pressure? So for there was a long list in it, and so because for women, you know, it's about the details, it's about the thought process, and sometimes we feel like men miss the step, as in like, okay, you missed the step here, you didn't do that, you didn't say, good morning, babe, you didn't say that to me, so. Already that's really like, you can't be messaging me every day, babe, and then not message me one day. Like, you can't You can't create that kind of pattern and then break it up without
That really
me
gets to you guys,
wanting
No,
to
but it's true.
address.
And I think this is like my thing right now with dudes. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not a man hater, but I think I'm at a point where it's just like you can't bring something to the table, and then when it's time for you to show what you have, it doesn't show up. In the sense of, I can't make you feel secure. I can't tell you that your insecurities, I love you for your insecurities. I love you for this and I love you for that. And then when we are arguing, or when things are not when things ain't good on your end, you're then like, your insecurities make you rubbish. Your insecurity, like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's like when we talk about catching feelings and being emotional and I think that is a very, very justifiable point at which you can say that, do you know what, I am very, very emotional about that.
Just adding on to that, when I mentioned the pressure, it's like, okay, cool, he's not meeting your expectations right now. She's not meeting my expectations right now. Really, you need to be pushing onto God for all of that.
Yeah, 100%.
As in like.
Easy to say though.
No, it's a practice.
I'm with you on that.
No, can I say something?
That's
It's
deep to practice.
It's practice
Talk about
because
that.
it's deep, because when you're in it, but you need to train yourself to be able to have those conversations with God when you're in it. I'm like, Lord, he ain't text me back. What is going on? As in, like, you're being slow. You're not working at my pace, and then I'm having to talk to God about it. And he's engaging.
But then could that be because he's being slow, or you're being too fast?
No, I'm being too fast. Whoever. But I have to talk to God about it for him to reveal what's really going on.
But
you know what I mean? Rather than making up stories about what this person is doing and what, like, making up stories about our intentions. Do you know what I mean? And that's when things get messy. And that's why God is supposed to be in the middle.
I think when it comes to like catching feelings, when it comes to relationships, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, I think it's that we're really into that. We're really into that that emotion and that feeling that we forget God in a way. So it's almost in a way where my man becomes my God.
But to prevent that, you need to have started that, like, God is your anchor. He's your anchor, right? He's your foundation. I'm at a stage in my life where, like, no one should think that they can't start praying for their spouse or whoever
God's
going to bring.
100%.
My mum made me start from, I think, 10. She started praying for my husband. And so I'm at a stage in my life where it's like, okay, God, you build me up. I'm going to keep getting to know you. When you want to bring the guy, bring him. And whoever he is, reveal it to me. And that's it. If you leave it to God to do that, those issues you won't have to say to God, oh, this guy isn't replying to me, what's going on? Because if God has revealed, because with me, if God has revealed it to you that this is the guy, constantly be praying on the guy
in the right context.
Yeah, in the right content. But I think all these sort of issues that everyone's having with relationships, like me personally, most of the issues that I had in relationships was because I decided to walk into that relationship myself. And I told God, I started to realize that, okay, if I saw a guy and I seemed to like that guy, I'll be like, God, is this what you want? No, okay,
rather
then that's it.
Rather than
you can't really focus on your emotions. Your emotions is your flesh, and it'll lead you down the wrong path. It'll just make you stumble. It'll make you fall. You have to take everything.
Emotions help you make decisions.
Yeah, definitely. But emotions are linked to your spirit as well. So if I see something going on with my boyfriend or whatever, God has put me in this relationship, I need to go take it back to the spirit. Go back to the spirit and say, okay, God, what's going on? And he might reveal something to you. He might be saying, okay, there's something going on there in that sort of realm. What's going on? Okay, now I take it to prayer and I'm stepping in God's territory and I'm saying, God, take control. We start praying. Then I come out to the physical and you see that everything that you're doing in the spirit will manifest in the physical. And whatever was going on will stop. It's all about literally just from the get-go. It's not when you start to see problems, you come to God. It's when you make prayer your first response to everything. And when you do that, I don't think all these problems will happen or come. And even when it does, it's all building blocks to what God wants to make you.
When they do happen, because these problems will happen. They do happen. It's relationships.
Yeah, I know.
But my point is that but what I'm saying is that these things will happen to bring you out of certain insecurities that you have. Do you know what I mean? Certain issues that you have, and that's, you know, rejection. It's like, for a long time I feared rejection, so I'm not going to tell you that I like you. I'll never say it because I'm scared that you might not like me back. And so 100%. I'm never gonna. And then until God puts us in certain situations where actually you can't help how you feel, how are you going to talk about it? How are we going to have this conversation? Do I need to actually speak to him about this?
I think
do I
God
need to
works in a way where he set aside, I believe that he set aside the person you're meant to be with.
Yeah.
I think that's the way God works. But I also think he works in a way where it's like, it's not you, your boyfriend and God, it's God and you guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
where it's like he should be your first love. Even when you are madly in love with your guy and he's the best person in the world, God needs to be your first love. Like, he needs to be the one that, there's this kind of like phrase that goes around me where, you know, like, I want to find my husband in God.
Yeah.
So where I'm seeking God and my husband's in God. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think when it comes to like stuff like catching feelings, rejection, it comes to emotions and all of that stuff, is when you're grounded in God, it's okay to be emotional about something. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry because you know that the root of it is God, and you know that God will make you know that, okay, do you know what, my child, if you feel sad about this, if you feel upset about this, it's okay because I'm with you and I've got this. I'm sorting this out for you. So I think that's
where you're going to have to go through it.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
But it's making sure that your first priority is to be vulnerable to God. Like,
vulnerable
to him.
God.
Let him,
If you're not
enter your
vulnerable to God, then there's no way
There's
you're
no
going to
way.
be vulnerable.
Let him
in
make your
relationship.
weaknesses strong. Let him be strong in that. You know, open yourself to him, not just to any guy. So.
Wow. Thank you very much, guys. That's amazing. We're just going to quick music break now. We're going to be talking about rejection and betrayal when we come back in much more detail. Rejection and betrayal. Enjoy this ministration.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. This is Ehime, and this is Indescribable. From the highest of heights to the depths of the sea, creation revealing your majesty. From the colors of fall to the fragrance of spring, every creature unique in the song that it sings, all exclaiming, indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God. All powerful, untamable, awestruck we fall to our knees as we humbly proclaim. You are amazing, God. Who sees lightning bolts and tells them where they should go, or sees heavenly storehouses laden with snow? Who imagined the sun and gave source to its light, yet conceals it to bring us the coolness of night? None can fathom, indescribable, uncontainable. You place the stars in the sky and you know them by name. You are amazing, God. Incomparable, unchangeable. You've seen the depths of my heart and you love me the same. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God.